Hello Lanas, how are you? Welcome to our YouTube channel Learn to Explore. Guys, I hope you are doing well. So please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel, and also do hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. So guys, today we are going to finish your class 12th Economics chapter 5, Human Capital Formation in India. What do you mean by human capital formation? It is a process to the stock of skill, ability, expertise, education, and knowledge where people are involved. Human capital refers to a stock of skill, ability, expertise, education, and knowledge involved in the people. And the process of making people in assets to converting them in assets is known as human capital formation. We have already covered this in introduction part, and I hope you have watched the previous video. In case you have not watched it yet, please do watch it now. I have added the link in playlist given description below. So guys, today we are going to continue after the where we have left. We have already done the state of human capital formation in India, how India's situation is there in the human capital formation, and what is the difference between human capital and human development. We have already covered. So today we will see education sector in India. This is one of the important source of investment in human capital through the ways of education. So growth in government expenditure on education has two ways. One, it is expressed as percentage of total government expenditure, and secondly, it is expressed as percentage of GDP. Means in total budget how much government is spending on education. And the second way to say the same thing is how much percentage of GDP is being spent on education. The percentage of education expenditure of total government expenditure indicates the importance of education in the scheme of things before the government. It expresses how much of our income is being committed to the development of education. During 1952 to 2014, education expenditure as percentage of total government expenditure increased. It has been increasing since independence largely from 7.92% to 15.7%, and as a percentage of GDP increased from 0.64 to 4.3%, which is a huge increase, you can see. But our target is to get it 6% of GDP, and we'll soon achieve this target if we are growing continue like this. Now, growing education sector is clearly visible, which has resulted in a considerable growth in education sector of India. As we can see, the number of schools have increased from 230.7 thousand to 1215.8 thousand. So this increase is between the phase of 1950-51 to 2005-6. The number of teachers in same period have also increased, and number of students, gross enrollment ratios also increased. The gross enrollment ratio means total enrollment of people in grade or cycle of level of education, regardless of their age. It is expressed as percentage of the corresponding eligible official age group population in a given school year. तो जो GER है आपका ग्रॉस एनरोलमेंट रेशियो, ये एलिमेंट्री लेवल पे काफ़ी पड़ा है. इंडिपेंडेंस के टाइम में 82 से लेकर ये बाद में 95 तक पहुंच गया है, और हमारा टारगेट इसे 100% करना है. एलिमेंट्री एजुकेशन का मतलब इंडिया में होता है स्टार्टिंग की 8 ईयर्स ऑफ स्कूलिंग फ्रॉम द एज ऑफ 6. इसका मेनली प्राइमरी और मिडिल क्लास की जो एजुकेशन है उसे एलिमेंट्री एजुकेशन कहते हैं, मीन्स अप टू योर 8th लेवल. Elementary education therefore is foundation for development of every citizen and nation as a whole. The government has also made elementary education free and compulsory. Goal is the universal elementary education in India has been very difficult to achieve till now. Government का goal क्या रहा है कि हमें universal elementary education का target achieve करना है कि up to elementary level हर कोई education प्राप्त कर सके. That's why it is free and compulsory. Secondary education is which starts from 9th and 10th. It leads to senior secondary 11th-12th, which aims to incorporate basic skills and analytical abilities. It also provides a stepping stone to higher professional and technical education. तो 9th से 12th के बीच में ही आपका बेस बनता है कि आप हायर प्रोफेशनल स्टडीज़ और टेक्निकल एजुकेशन में किस तरह से आगे बढ़ेंगे, कौन सा फील्ड चूज करेंगे. Then comes the higher education. It comprises both general and technical education. So the number of universities in the country has increased from 27 in 1950-51 to 350. So you can see this is more than 5 times. Increase is more than 5 times. UGC takes measures for promotion and coordination of university education and determination on maintenance of standards in teaching, examination, research in universities and allocation and disbursement of grants to them. Also, other primary education schemes have been introduced by government like गवर्नमेंट ने कौन कौन सी स्कीम्स इंट्रोड्यूस की हैं अपने टारगेट्स अचीव करने के लिए. सर्व शिक्षा अभियान, जिसमें कि फ्री और कंपलसरी एजुकेशन प्रोवाइड की जाती है बिटवीन 6 to 14 ईयर्स के बच्चों के लिए. और इसका ऑब्जेक्टिव है यूनिवर्सलाइज एंड इम्प्रूव द क्वालिटी ऑफ एलिमेंट्री एजुकेशन थ्रू कम्युनिटी ऑनरशिप ऑफ एलिमेंट्री एजुकेशन. ऐसा ही एक दूसरी स्कीम जो गवर्नमेंट ने इंट्रोड्यूस किया, इट इज़ नेशनल प्रोग्राम फॉर एजुकेशन ऑफ गर्ल्स एट एलिमेंट्री एजुकेशन. शॉर्ट में इसे NPEGEL कहा जाता है. द प्रोग्राम इज एम्ड एट एनहांसिंग गर्ल्स एजुकेशन बाय प्रोवाइडिंग देम एडिशनल सपोर्ट फॉर डेवलपमेंट ऑफ अ मॉडल गर्ल चाइल्ड फ्रेंडली स्कूल in every cluster, with more intensive community mobilization and supervision of girls enrollment in schools. Under NPEGEL, 35,252 model schools have been opened. So this shows the efforts we are making, the effort our community and the government is making is showing result also. Another scheme is Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalaya. This scheme was launched in July 2004 for setting up residential schools at upper primary level for girls belonging to predominantly SC, ST, OBC and minority communities. Means the girls belonging to the marginal sections of society. This scheme ran as separate scheme for 2 years but was merged with Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan फ्रॉम 1 अप्रैल 2007. तो पहले ये एक अलग स्कीम थी, बाद में सर्व शिक्षा अभियान के साथ इसको मर्ज कर दिया गया. So guys, I hope you are able to clear your doubts and you are understanding the concept. In case you have any doubt, any query, please feel free to ask me in the comment section. And also don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Also do recommend it to your friends. It might help them. And we are trying to cover NCERTs from class 9 to 12. In case you want anything else from us, please do let me know. Also, in case you want these notes, you can join our Telegram channel. The link is given in the description below. And you will get all the latest updates and these PDF notes on the Telegram channel. So guys, I hope you are still enjoying our classes. So let's move forward. What are the future perspectives of government policies? Prospects means what government has planned. When they are taking these steps, when they are taking these initiatives, तो उनका plan क्या है? Future से expectations क्या है? This is known as future prospects. So first is education for all, still a distant dream. The literacy rates for both adults as well as youth have increased. Still, the absolute number of illiterates in India is as much as India's population was at the time of independence. जो लिटरेसी रेट है इंडिया में एडल्ट और यूथ दोनों के लिए ही बड़ा है. लेकिन अगर हम एब्सोल्यूट नंबर की बात करें तो इंडिया में अभी भी उतने इलिटरेट लोग हैं जितनी पॉपुलेशन थी हमारी इंडिपेंडेंस के टाइम पर. अनदर एस्पेक्ट इज जेंडर इक्विटी बेटर देन बिफोर. द डिफरेंसेस इन लिटरेसी रेट्स between males and females are narrowing, signifying a positive development in gender equity. Still, the need to promote education for women in India is imminent for various reasons, such as improving economic independence and social status of women, and also because women education makes a favorable impact on fertility rate and health care of women and children. Therefore, we cannot be complacent about the upward movement in the literacy rates and we have miles to go in achieving 100% adult literacy. तो हमने क्या देखा है, जैसे जैसे लिटरेसी रेट में इम्प्रूव हुआ है तो इससे पॉजिटिव डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है जेंडर इक्विटी की तरफ. उसकी लेकिन नीड अब भी है कि एजुकेशन को वुमेन्स के लिए प्रमोट किया जाए इंडिया में. क्योंकि it is a reason which makes favorable impact on fertility rate and healthcare of women. Because if people are more aware, they will take decisions more wisely, and it will help not them as an only as an individual, but country as a whole also. And the next aspect is higher education, a few takers. The Indian education pyramid is steep, means अगर हम ऊपर तक बात करें हायर एजुकेशन तक जाते जाते it becomes narrow, indicating lesser and lesser number of people reaching in the higher education level. The most severely affected ones were young rural female graduates, as nearly 30% of them are unemployed. In contrast to this, only about 3 to 6% of primary level educated youth in rural and urban areas were unemployed. Therefore, the government should increase allocation for higher education and also improve the standard of higher education institutions so that students are imparted employable skills in such institutions. दो इंडियन एजुकेशन पिरामिड जो है स्टीप है, हायर एजुकेशन तक काफ़ी लम कम लोग पहुंच पाते हैं, एंड जो ज़्यादातर सबसे ज़्यादा लोग अफेक्ट हैं वो कौन से हैं, रूरल एरिया की फीमेल ग्रेजुएट्स, ओनली 30%, इनफैक्ट 30% ऑफ देम जो है अनएम्प्लॉयड रह जाती हैं. इन कंट्रास्ट टू दिस, इसके अपोजिट क्या है, ओनली अबाउट 3 to 6% ऑफ प्राइमरी लेवल एजुकेटेड यूथ इन रूरल एंड अर्बन एरियाज वर अनएम्प्लॉयड, जबकि अर्बन एरियाज में अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट का लेवल कम है. इसलिए गवर्नमेंट को ज़रूरत है कि हायर एजुकेशन में एलोकेशन को बढ़ाया जाए और स्किल्स को इम्प्रूव करने के लिए काम करें, जिससे कि एम्प्लॉयमेंट स्किल्स स्टूडेंट्स सीख सकें, जिससे कि आफ्टर देयर हायर एजुकेशन दे विल easily get employment. So guys, here your chapter ends. Now it's time to conclude the chapter. In case you have any doubt, please feel free to ask me in the comment section, and you can spread the word to your friends also. So now concluding the chapter, the spread of education and health services across different sectors of society should be ensured so as to simultaneously attain economic growth and equity. India has a rich stock of scientific and technical manpower in the world. Need of the hour is to better it qualitatively and provide such conditions so that they are utilized in our own country. तो एजुकेशन और हेल्थ सर्विसेज तो बढ़ ही रही हैं, इंक्रीज हो ही रही हैं सोसाइटी में हमारी, और जिनका ऑब्जेक्टिव है इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ और इक्विटी को अचीव करना. इंडिया के पास भी ऑलरेडी काफ़ी बड़ा और एक अच्छा स्टॉक है साइंटिफिक और टेक्निकल मैन पावर का, अगर हम पूरे वर्ल्ड से कंपेयर करें. लेकिन टाइम की जो डिमांड है वो क्या है कि हम इसकी क्वालिटी को और इम्प्रूव करें और ऐसी कंडीशंस प्रोवाइड करें कि हमारे सभी रिसोर्सेज ऑप्टिमम लेवल तक यूज़ हो सके. ऑप्टिमल मतलब मीन्स विच इज़ द बेस्ट वे टू यूज़, वेयर देयर इज लेस वेस्टेज, लेस कॉस्ट एंड द highest and the maximum profit. So I hope you are able to understand this chapter. In case you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. And from here, we'll continue in the next class. We'll come with a new topic. Till then, keep revising. Stay tuned. Thank you. And also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Learn to Explore. Thank you.